Hello, everyone. I think it's full of energy, right? I'm really impressed by the energy and the participants. I've been listening all these talks today, and how many of you realize that we are talking a lot about the adoption, right? And then we saw some projects, but I'm glad that now this adoption topic has come into the mainstream discussion. And I think this is a very natural path of anything. So normally you have a first buyer, second buyer, 100 buyers, right? Million buyer, and then that goes on, and then we talk about like what is next. So in this 20 minutes of time, by the way, I'm Romex. I'm from ZB, and we are like 9 years old exchange. So I will also ask our all panelists to first introduce yourself, and then although it's a very big topic that how we have the mass adoption of digital currency. This is a huge topic. You know, maybe we can talk days and months, but let's try to focus on from the payment side. Although I know like payment is a big industry in itself. So, I will start with, please, can you introduce yourself and talk about your idea on the mass adoption of digital currency?
My name is Mohammed Khalifa. I'm CEO of Garantex International. We are a crypto exchange platform and a training center out of Estonia. We are setting up around the world right now. My background is mechanical engineering, finance, regulatory. I was a regulator till less than a year ago. Insurance, this is where my expertise are coming, seeing different countries, jurisdictions that has been there, understanding where the setup of financial, how can I say, firewalls that have been set up from different countries because of political reasons, geographical coverages, currency restrictions and accumulations that will be coming from that. And same time is the what you call the rating for the investments or the investment choices which are available and the trustworthy of it in those jurisdictions. If we take a look at what blockchain is bringing to the world today, it's numerous and endless applications that you can be putting on it. If we taking a look at the United Arab Emirates, we have the first Ministry of Artificial Intelligence. That means the adaptation of blockchain that is coming. Although the blockchain was actually came out of the cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin to have all the credit for that. But today we see the communication between the banks, government, having the security of this communication, the transactions that is happening. So the blockchain is playing a key role in that one, and a lot of countries are adapting that. Nevertheless, simultaneously with that one, the crypto is growing also with that, which is providing solutions, financial solutions, investment solutions, capital raise, business finance, working capitals, whatever you need, you can name it. Today, the cryptocurrency is providing that one, and it's inevitable that we need to get this accepted today rather than tomorrow. We have seen lately His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid has declared for the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, which is VARA. And this is one of the first regulatory authorities in the world.
Yeah.
And if we take a look at what has previously been done in the past 2-3 years from regulators, ADGM, the IFC, DMCC, Dubai World Trade Center, all of them, they're licensing blockchain-based for crypto trading to have these solutions over there, from propriety to IT innovation company to advisory firms who can do that.
Sorry, I will let all the panelists to also just introduce yourself and talk about your work in a very brief, okay? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vytautas. I'm coming from both digital currency as well as payments background. In 2013, with my co-founders, we founded the digital currency exchange, SpectroCoin, and we always saw that to have like a fiat lag, to have like a traditional financial lag is important for the digital currencies, because our perception was that digital currency is a brilliant way to pay online, and it's like the currency for the internet. Let's say when you're going to US, you're getting US dollars. When you're going to UK, you're getting pounds. And when you're going to online, to internet, you need the internet money, which is essentially the digital currencies like Bitcoin. But you always need to have liquidity and liquidity to the link to the fiat currency. So that's why the payment side is important. And even in our business history, it happened. But in 2017, we made a spin-off, which is now called Bankera, to have like kind of what we call it the fiat node. But in general, it's just like a payment service provider to serve digital currency businesses, to issue the cards, open accounts. And we are trying to still build our business on the essence that the digital currencies are used for payments and they have to be used for payments.
Okay, thank you. Sunil.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So my name's Sunil Rajan. I'm the co-founder of E.POP Pay, and we are a digital receipts platform. And what we do is we aggregate physical asset receipts as well as digital asset receipts like NFTs into one platform. And by doing so, we're looking to be more of an aggregation provider, working with traditional payment platforms like Square or Stripe or Shopify, in addition to digital asset providers at the same time. Probably one of the unique things that we try to do is also work and put a focus into sustainability, and we look to offset a lot of the mining impact that takes place with digital assets, along with the carbon offsets that takes place with physical assets by planting trees. So we're proud to say that today we planted 100,000 trees globally as part of our sustainability efforts at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sunil. Yeah, Victoria.
Hi, my name is Viktoria Soltesz. I'm the founder of PSP Angels. We are a payment consulting company. We are not payment providers, but we are the ones who are making sense of the payment world for the higher risk clients. So if anyone has an online business here and ever tried to open a merchant account or a bank account and got rejected, then you understand what is the pain that all our clients are going through. So instead of you going through all the providers and try to apply for bank accounts and try to figure out why you got rejected and try to understand how to optimize your payments, where the money comes from, how much, how often, what currency, what is the latest on the market that your competition is using, come to us, because that's what we are specialized at. We are asking all these questions on behalf of you. Of course, we are working with different higher risk verticals, which includes obviously blockchain projects, startup companies, anything which has anything to do with crypto related. So instead of wasting time and try to figure out this, we are the ones who are providing the so-called market intelligence for this payment industry, which in my opinion, it is an industry on its own. And navigating in this maze, it's sometimes a proper pain. So that's what we are doing.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Mudashir.
Yes, I am Mudashir from HyperBC. So HyperBC essentially is a crypto asset custody and payment solution provider. So we are mainly focused on businesses where we provide B2B payment solutions as well as asset custody. So we have an online gateway called HPay. We also have the physical payment gateway called the HPOS system, which allows businesses to collect payments in crypto. The settlement, of course, can be in fiat or crypto depending on the choice. And alongside that, we also have the Hyper ATM and the Hyper Card, which allows users to pay through crypto. Again, from the back end, we can switch it to fiat for merchants who do not want to accept crypto. So ideally, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an ecosystem where we provide end-to-end payment solutions for both the businesses to accept crypto as well as the users to pay crypto. So ideally, we're trying to create a mass adoption globally. We support all of our services are supported global. We work with large institutions such as Visa, MasterCard, and so many other partners that help us get into the global distribution market, helping the mass adoption for payments in crypto.
Okay, thank you. I think that just gives a glimpse of the participants we have, and from the participants you can see there are a different plumbing, right? There is a different plumbing. Actually, if we think about a mass adoption of digital currency, actually cannot be just done by one party. That's like, because it's like we have to, if it's like just simplifying this issue in another term is like Now I just checked today, the data is around, let's say, 300 million users, right? Like last year. And with the current growth, many people believe that 2020 year is the year by the end of this year, probably we'll cross 1 billion crypto users, digital currency users. Okay, so it's like organically it's going, but just like any other industry faces, the question is, where are these users coming from, right? If we have to, build this pie bigger, making more people come to this one, so where are they coming from? Which industry they are coming from, or what kind of application or the use case will drive those people to coming into the mainstream? So, who wants to take this? Sunil or Victoria?
I can reply from my experience because we are working with different high-risk verticals. So every target market for every vertical is different. So when we are talking about, for example, the early adopters of anything blockchain related, obviously those guys are more tech savvy. But when we are talking about, for example, investment firms that we are helping also, those target audience could be a bit more, not that tech savvy, for example. So the mass adoption for using different digital assets, it is indeed lies in who is the target market for those kind of verticals. And all these type of verticals need to provide a solution for their clients. So just because I'm an online business and I'm selling whatever, shoes, I cannot force my clients to use digital assets. I have to help them to understand how to open a wallet. And many verticals don't even want to get there because that's not what their target audience is. So yes, replying to your question, mass adoption, it is based on the payment service providers as well as the verticals who are using these payment services.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's a really good point because we work very closely with the traditional retail merchants. And one of the things that we began to observe is that as much as a merchant is willing to accept and willing to use some type of digital currency as payment, of course they're normally restricted by the payment infrastructure. And in many ways what we're seeing though is an evolution within the payments structure itself. So in the same way that we have a Web 3.0, there is a payment 4.0, where you're seeing the increase of social commerce, open banking, API integrations. And I think what we're seeing and a move towards is a trend of a convergence between a Web 3.0 and a payment 4.0 with the traditional payment providers. And that's taking place right now. And you can see that with Square, that recently rebranded as Block. You see that with blockchain.com that selected Stripe as their payment platform going forward. So I think there's already a transition taking place with the traditional payment providers in being able to accommodate that.
Okay, I think that's a very interesting thing.
Romex,
No,
one point you have not touched
Yeah, please,
over
please.
it, which is very important point also.
Please.
Why the cryptocurrency is being adapted and the masses are going on that. That's a very important question. Just to add on what the colleagues have said, they've touched on the base of the choice, not a need.
Right.
So let's talk about that. There's a company called Kick Labs, one of the first companies here in United Arab Emirates, in Dubai in specific. They are accepting payments of cryptocurrency to pay government fees for trade license. This is a necessity and a need. We have mega developers like Damak, MR. You're a visitor to United Arab Emirates as per the laws of United Arab Emirates for any unit that you're buying, and minimum investment, you're talking about 700 to 1 million dirhams. You need to have a manager check. Without a bank account in United Arab Emirates, where are you going to get it? The developers have provided this solution. Sean Properties have entered to that one. So the necessity is grown right now. You have got two type of people who have got this necessity. The junior investors, the small investors, which have got a small capability of entering into investment portfolios, where the requirements is the minimum of $100,000 to $200,000 from wealth asset managers. On the other hand, you have government fees, you have government requirements, business development. If I am a business person, I want to come to United Arab Emirates, how am I going to bring the cash to set up a company where I own it
That's
as
a
a
real
foreigner
issue.
100%?
Yeah.
So cryptocurrency is minor. So there is a necessity today.
Okay.
If we take a look at cross-border capital repatriation, same thing is going on between Africa, GCC, India, and GCC, China and GCC, Europe and GCC today. GCC has become a very important hub for these businesses. So how can I bring these capitals? The only solution I can find is cryptocurrency, thus the necessity and the organic growth and faster going.
I think our friends really mentioned a very key point. So this is also something I would like to talk about, that's integration. Like there are some, this finance and traditional, especially traditional finance, is here for many centuries, right? But we see like with the blockchain, they provide some, at least they give us some sense that some of the problem can be solved better, in a better way, right? So now my second question is like, how we can make sure that, because the issue is that the traditional, the value right now, either we accept it or not, the value is like enter point and the exit point is still on the fiat. That's the reality we are right now. So how we can, the blockchain or the digital currency assets can work closely or a better way, if there is, with the traditional financial system?
Yeah. So basically, as I mentioned before, we have integrated protocols that allow people to collect crypto and be settled in fiat. So basically, the exit point, as you mentioned, can be converted into fiat. It's not necessary that you need to get it in crypto, right? And we also have different integrations with different partners like Visa and MasterCard, where you can pay through crypto and it's converted from the back end to fiat for the merchant. What I believe is the transition from fiat into the cryptocurrencies. Everyone wants to get onto this market right now, because as you just mentioned, last year it's 300 million, this year it's almost 1 billion users today. So the reason why there is such a large hike is because the stable fiat currencies, the growth is very minimal. In cryptocurrencies, you have a lot of decentralization, you have a lot of opportunities for investments, you can grow your value, and anyone can enter this market. It's not necessary you've got to have $1 million to enter this, right? So the main challenge why people are not able to get into this, as she mentioned before, is the knowledge gap that exists. People are not aware about how to get into this industry, where to get started, or how I can do this, what are the benefits that I'm going to get, and so on. So ideally, if we want to accelerate the mass adoption, we need to bridge this gap. And that's why at HyperBC, we have launched this HyperLearn initiative, where we are providing training courses, sessions, Zoom sessions, one-on-one consultation, to just get them to have the education, the necessary knowledge.
I have to stop you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Vytautas, so just to quickly, because we're talking about the integration or how the both system can work together.
So actually, I will look from a different angle. So actually, the necessity which was created is actually mainly for cross-border payments. Either it's remittances or either it's paying for a license, but generally it's like from one country to another country, and crypto and digital currencies are solving this channel kind of perfectly. But more or less, the retail clients, even businesses who are retail, they're using digital currencies as an alternative to the banking channels for the cross-border payments. That's kind of a fact, and that's how the users are coming up. I think the next stage and how the integration will come with traditional banking, then the banks itself will start to use the digital currencies for the settlement for cross-border payments between themselves, because actually even now we are seeing it that to do cross-border transactions through correspondent banks becomes harder and harder because of compliance, middleman risk, and so on. And the blockchain was solved to eliminate the middleman. So I think the integration will come from the day when the financial institutions will start to use digital currencies for the settlement between themselves for the cross-border payments, as their clients are doing now, and they're just running away from the banks for payment part at least.
Okay, I think we still have 20 seconds left. I think we'll discuss about the issue, and there is a space, and everybody can. We are representing different industry and other, but we always see the payment is can be a good a bridge, where it can actually solve and or at least make improvement on the existing deficiency. We did not talk much about, although you mentioned about the remittance or the cross-country, the payment settlement. These are all the real issues, and I believe if we can address them from different angles, we can have the mass adoption as we have been discussing about. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your inputs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.